don't know if this new son get a raise a pay.
Yeah.
I don't know if God restore the cola, the cost of living allowance
Right.
to this new son.
Mm-hmm.
All I know, this son different. I grew up in this country all my life.
I too.
I made 8 times for the day, you know, 8 times.
Nothing. I know what you mean.
Afraid. The heat. Right now I face it. You know when you face your fears?
Yeah.
I feeling like Tony Stark. And pull out the thing out my chest. The reactor. I'm just facing my fears with this son because I cannot face no more high bill. I study in that light bill anyway. See that light bill that coming? It will my September light bill. Jesus. Speak to me, Lord.
I forget to intro the thing as welcome to episode 150 something of the Corey Shepherd podcast. I get carried away when I listening to the music here. I clean forget. I tell you, listen, I'm having a rough time, right? It's have a thing called long COVID and COVID fog that I'm dealing with. I sit down here listening to the music. I forget how to talk. Welcome to episode 150 plenty of the Corey Shepherd podcast. Welcome back to everybody who's been listening. Welcome to all the long time listeners. Listen, and if you don't know the voice that was talking in the beginning, let me learn the culture. It's Rachel Price, right? Every now and again, everybody need a double dose of arrow. Welcome back. It's episode 154. All you saying, how the week was? All you do, all you had a good week? School open back. All you survive the traffic? All you survive the up and down? How things going? I could tell you home by me here. People is going to sleep very early. After 2 months of vacation, the best jobs ever and the best life ever. Who in school whole day and who teaching in school whole day. They was very, very sleepy. We had a very quiet weekend around this house. People like they trying to catch back themselves on function. All they do with the traffic and them thing. Everybody was good. I hope all had a good time. Listen, I had a good week, you know. Before I get into the issues of the week, I just want to say that in the salute to Rachel Price. Listen, I see that little clip from Rachel Price just before I was about to record and I really dead laughing. Rachel Price is a true comedian in real life. These people we got to protect people with kid gloves, you know. We got to take care of our icons. And you can like Rachel Price, you can like her, but Rachel Price contribution and start today. Now I think people forgetting, or people might know Rachel Price today for little social media content and she have price and that kind of thing and the katang, but we must always remember that Rachel Price come from a long, long way back. Some of the veterans. I was talking to my father this week about Calypsonians and Soca artists and thing, and you know, just last week we were talking about how far Marshall come from in terms of his career. Marshall would be singing with all the greats back since in the 80s, and Rachel Price, when it comes to the great tent MCs and comedians that we've had over the years, she is definitely up there with the best of them, and we must continue to salute all love to Rachel Price, right? But she raised a good point. I want to salute to all my listeners who are abroad. I'm happy for your listen. All spring, all fall, what's going on over there? All the temperature looking, all looking like in the 20s, all have air conditioned temperature. I just want to let you know that all the decision to leave Trinidad and Tobago was the greatest decision he ever made. Not because of the crime, but because of the heat. I don't know if the sun getting closer to here. You know, you gotta get them dad jokes in and like, if this the son, I want to know the father. But I had to change my ways. This is my I'm going to repent because if I can't take Trinidad, so hell go be worse. I had to repent and change my ways because beyond the amount of heat, every time you leave home is a scene. Just coming out your house is a scene. You're sweating. I feel 100 degrees and thing in places before where it have that kind of dry heat. But in Trinidad, I just feeling like the sun itself, like it closer to here, the sun burning your skin is a scene. And I guess with dry season, and I have a air condition, there's first world problems, right? But I have a air condition, who decide he done work? I guess it just run too much. I think she right. All the light bill looking. I closing my eye when September reach because listen, between back to school and light bill, it is going to be a bad combination. All the units on in this house whole day. One decide he done, he finished. And I hear the price to fix her. And you know, people, good little intelligent and professional people is listening to. Anybody know anything about fixing inverter unit for free and getting free board replace something? Only let me know. You know. Let me use your network to, if not our advantage, to my advantage. You know? But on top of that, as I keep saying in Shagwana, say I have a brand new bill to pay every month. It look like it. It don't matter where it has happened. Once we have 2-3 days of sunshine, there's no more water on the line in Shagwana. I can't tell you the last time I get water on the line here. And it cost me $600 to fill a tank every time I had to fill the tank or 2 tanks or whatever I have in the back there. And this thing's starting to add up. This is I'm not sure what is WASA response state. I see them say what is desal cut? They say they had an electrical problem at the desalination plant and that caused a nationwide slowdown in the distribution of water. But I'm not talking about no slowdown. I'm talking about weeks of not having water. So I had to pay for water on Sunday and the Friday before that. I had to pay for water. So it looked like every 7-8 days I got to pay for water in here. Something else. But I see Marvin Gonzalez, who they say is one of the... Is Gonzalez or Gonzalez? They say he's one of the men who working, right? So the Guardian, I'm going straight into it, right? The Guardian say, Gonzalez finds water disruptions curious and says sabotage possible. That's something familiar. I feel like I talked about that here before. Public Utility Minister Marvin Gonzalez says water production and distribution have normalized to nearly 95%. Well, we clearly in the 5%. Bringing an end to water supply disruptions experienced by an estimated 500,000 people in numerous parts of the country. But he said he found the cause of the problems curious, with both the Caroni water treatment plant and the desalination company both encountering electrical issues. What is this, a Caribbean Airlines kind of situation? Speaking during the Guapo-Capdeville pipeline project launch this weekend, Minister Gonzalez was asked by The Guardian whether he suspected sabotage in the wake of 2 major disruptions. And his response is, in TNT, anything is possible, and the possibility of sabotage is always there. But don't jump to it without any conclusive evidence, Gonzalez said. He added, as minister, I have to be responsible about what I say. The man, after saying, in TNT, anything is possible, his next statement is I have to be responsible about what I say. Okay. I have to be responsible about what I say about these things unless you have evidence to support it. Regarding the recent electrical problems at the Salcott plant in Point Lisas, which began on September 2nd, Gonzalez said, I did find it quite curious that coming out of a major disruption of the Caroni water treatment plant due to electrical issues, and just as WASA was recovering from that, there was another electrical issue at the Salcott. From the week of August 25th, the Caroni plant encountered electrical issue. Right, so I know the situation here, right? So, but I'm not sure if this capturing was the actual scenario in the ground here. Because if we have 95% of the issues fixed, I'm not sure what it is. And this problem had to be a recent problem as far as I'm concerned. Because I live in here must be 4 years now, and it's only within the last year or two that I experience in this thing where when it's dry season, there's no water coming in the main at all. This is something else. So that was just me making my public utilities plea, right? Because there's no way. You ever realize when water gone is no self it is filter bathe and everything. It's when you what you saying, they never miss the water till you well run dry. Is that the same? We definitely at our point. And since I always hear to talk about calypso, I just want to play the longest calypso ever written and performed by mankind, but the most relevant calypso to this kind of situation. Just reaching out to Marvin Gonzalez, because there are few calypsos that do a better job of telling you what it is like. This I sending this out to foreigners, right? Because foreigners understand what is happening in their country and complaining about the issues over there. But I want all to understand that while only complaining about the issues they have there, they still have a country where water is a major discussion. So let me leave it to Rio to talk to all, you know.
Trinidad, Rio, back to basics. Merry New Year, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, this is straight, die-hard, genuine, authentic ISO. This is how the story goes. I went to public utilities.
Yes.
And tell them, disconnect them facilities, cause me want them. I tried to contact the ombudsman, but never in office.
What you want to do?
I'm going to file me an injunction on public service. But every time a heavy rainfall, by me don't have no current at all. They spoil my TV, they spoil my fridge, they nearly kill me with low voltage. Now before they make me a lunatic, I'm going back to basic. I'm going and get a flambeau and lamp with wick. I'm going back to basic. I call my fans and I call my friends to let them know that if they have a message to send, tell Tempo. And if they come home and they see me, tell me neighbor, or get a pen and a writing pad
And write a letter.
Cause the SPT doesn't make me weep.
Did you sell too?
One of the days when old talk was cheap, and I make a phone call to Talbaro, and I get a phone bill to Mexico.
Just like flow.
Before they kill me and kill me quick, I'm going back to basic. A piece of marling and two flim pan gonna do the trick. I'm going back to basic. I went and buy me a motor car for my own comfort, because I can't take no more torture waiting on transport. But all them potholes and all them bumps, me car ain't able until they invent a car jump.
I go travel.
I beg the Lord to please put a hand, touch the hearts of the spare parts man. I used to have a raise in the bank, now every cent gone in the gas tank. Now I prefer roller with visa sticker. I'm going back to basic. Or buy a 3-speed bike, go in chick. I'm going back to basic.
You know, anytime you put jig in a song, you're a genius, right?
Now the only competent source that really working is when you can't pay your bills on time. They come cutting. Incompetence and disregard, ain't no humor, because the situation is sad for the poor consumer. The word WASA does give me gripe.
What?
I ask for water, then give me pipe. I can't even get me clothes to wash, me toilet full and can't even flush. Now they make me condemn me toilet bowl. I'm going back to basic. And now I dig in a latrine hole. I'm going back to basic. Yes? You like it? I do. Trinidad Rio. Trinidad Rio, back to basics. Yesterday I went to the store to buy a cooler, then get my Indian partner next door to make a chula. I buy a donkey cab from Ramdeen to make a stagecoach, then put some Severin in my latrine to kill the cockroach. I buy a posy made in Hong Kong, the only silver posy in town. Well, if you see the latrine I built, here is the cleanest one on the hill. All down inside the hole and around the walls. I always splitting. You know why? To make sure cockroach ain't bite me. Trinidad Rio. Back to basics. Long time me, Gypsy and Kokro. Who? Back in the earlys. We used to go downtown after show, pick up the ladies, window shop, take them along, buy them a roti, then find the cheapest hotel in town and make a pakoti.
Google pakoti, right?
But time changes and so do we. So put that down in Kaiso history. But if you should do the same today,
Yes.
it's like a game, a Russian roulette. So now before one of them get me sick, going back to basic, I prefer sit down in a corner and going back to basic.
More thing that ain't working here. Food shortage hits Tobago. Businessmen say crisis looms. This is from The Guardian, right? The availability of goods in Tobago is rapidly decreasing due to the inability of fast ferries to transport large vehicles between Trinidad and Tobago. Wait now. Trinidad and Tobago still part of what was the situation? What is the situation? Tobago still is it still one country or what it was cessation, separation, stagnate? What it was we was looking for that we wasn't talking about that the other day? I see coincidentally that Watson Duke after realizing that his water more than flour in a country where you can't get water at all. He realized water more than flour. He's looking like if he want to make back up with Farley. The man take a kind of blonde hairstyle and make himself young. You know, he's the king of reinventing himself. First he was well, for lack of a better term, like Cornwall. He was big. And then, you know what I mean, he slimmed down and them kind of thing. And a matter of fact, he was big and bald. You know what I mean? Then after a while, you see he come back slim and the boy hair wavy. Waves. You know what I mean? Brand new hairline if you're in Turkey and build back a hairline or what. And then you see Wilson started to get fit and strong and he was pushing for political to be almost want to be a part of the PNM, then you want to be a part of the UNC, go on to lead, you know what I mean, make your own party and them thing get kicked out your own party. He's a journeyman, you know. You remember when he take all the money from, I think it was one, but it was RBC and one account, that's the PSA money, you know, he take all and tell them put money in cash in a bag. It take hours for the people to get enough cash and give him. And take the PSA money on a bag over, he back and carry it over by First Citizens Deposit. This is a legend, you know. But it seems as though he reinvented himself again for a new phase of his life where he's a blondie now and he's looking to get back in with Farley. But I thought the idea was to separate themselves from Tobago. So I was assuming if the ferry and working thing, I mean, it's a place to get things from. Anyway, the island is currently facing shortages in the construction sector with hardwares running out of essential supplies like cement, blocks, and sand. Warehouses are also experiencing a scarcity in food items such as beer. Let me read that again. Warehouses are also experiencing a scarcity of food items such as beer, soft drinks, flour, and animal feed. The flour come third in the list. Scores of workers have also been temporarily retrenched or sent home early. The issue stemmed from a fire on board the Cabo Star 2 weeks ago, which damaged the electrical cables. In a release last week, Port Authority Trinidad and Tobago stated that it would take 7 days to ship the cables for repairs. Cargo has since been accommodated on board the Galleon's Passage and the APT James. Yesterday, members of the Tobago Business Chamber officially declared the situation a crisis. Miles Almaros Limited, one of Trinidad's largest warehousing and distributors for carib on the island, was out of beer and soft drinks. Beer and soft drinks seem to be a big issue, you know what I mean? Beer by chase. So if we have them things, we could forget the flour, you know. We could catch crab and catch fish and things. The warehouse owner, Philip Almandos, explained, we normally get at least 10 10-ton trucks a week from Blue Waters, Coke, and Carib. So far, over the 2 weeks, we have nothing. We are out of soft drinks from Coca-Cola. We have no beer. We got a small load from Carib this morning, and that finished this morning. My warehouse is empty. Flour is scarce. Why is flour so low down on the list? I want to be at Tobago though. The problem is not a food shortage, you know. The crisis is man can't get beers to drink when the night come. Because let me tell you something. If you have a food shortage, like this shortage of water here could drive a man to be a drinker, you know. So if you have a food shortage, if you just send the liquor, we could drown with sorrows and them kind of thing, you know. Crookshank said we have a problem where there's no construction material, no blocks, no sand, no steel. For 2 weeks, the vessel has been down, and we are not wise as to when the vessel will be up. Tobago will truly start to see a shutdown of business. We have some of the larger businesses already sending home staff and starting to shut down. He went on to say all the ready-mix plants on the island have no cement, and all the ready-mix work has come to a halt. Nothing is happening in the construction sector on the island. They claim that the galleon's passage is for cargo, but it cannot bring any heavy bulk cargo. Only light stuff like food and those kind of treats on trucks. So, I mean, there's a situation in Tobago. Only ever think we will live to see the inter-island ferry become settled and, you know, like a standardized service that we have. We seem to, I guess is what we could afford. We seem to usually buy like second-hand boats to work that service. And when one of them down, especially, I mean, the passenger ship is be a problem, but the alternative is there because, yeah, I mean, you could go with Caribbean Airlines if they decide to fly. And a lot of times when they had issues like those, they subsidize the Caribbean Airlines flight, the air bridge, right? That already subsidized, right? We get that for, I think it's $300 return. And sometimes we get to pay the boat price to go on the plane when the boat down and things, we take care of it, you know. So the bigger issue really comes when the cargo ship not working and then the businesses over there can't get nothing to sell. We've seen, I mean, if you live through this before, you'll see grocery in Tobago looking empty and ain't much happening and them kind of things. So I guess we're back to that stage again. And I see Watson was making a fuss about it because Watson had done a video, and it's a little too long to show, but Watson did a video on Facebook breaking down the capacity of some of the temporary replacement boats that we're trying to get to fill the void while the cargo staff fix, or some of the other boats that we have here. And it seems to be, I mean, based on his, let me take what he's saying as fact. It seems to be that there's a gross, we well below the capacity that is needed to keep both islands running smooth and to keep, well, not both islands, but to keep Tobago running where it had to run. So there's something that we had to keep our eye on. I'm not sure. Surprised. Well, should I be surprised? Should I just play over that that Watchman song again? Because it seems as though when you look through the papers, right, it could get so depressing, like looking through topics to look at, all right, this is what we are talking about this week. Sometimes the thing looks so grim, like there's not a whole lot of good news to report. Thankfully, I always focus on the culture and them things because some of these things could get, like, you're wondering if we really, how much have we advanced over the years that we still having some of these same exact problems. It's almost like if I had just transported this podcast back to the early 90s, half the topics I talk about could be just as relevant. Nobody would know. We take a time travel, we take a DeLorean and come back to this kind of time. But the thing is, while nothing in Trinidad and Tobago works, you know what working? The Soca Warriors is working. The Soca Warriors is on top of the game. You know why it is working? The CPL is working. The Night Riders working. For the first time, this is not the norm, right? So I want to come here very I want to get on bad, right? And come and play Soca Warriors song and them thing I can't get on, you know what I mean? But I'm a little nervous because we have a way sometimes that when we see a little glimmer of light, a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to our sports, maybe we get a little overzealous. TKR is a side who, I mean, there's a franchise team to it. There's not really a national team, but at least it's ours, and we've seen a lot of success over the year. I think TKR won 5 out of the CPL championship so far. And I'm telling you out right now, I'm going to talk about CPL for a while, but I'm back in Guyana. I'll let you know. It can't be every year Guyana winning every game. Guyana ain't lost for the CPL yet. The final is in Providence Stadium, home by them. That every game they go be sold out. Them men have to bring home one. It is impossible back in Guyana. I wonder if I have a green and yellow and red jersey I could wear to back the back the Warriors. This is not right. But before I get to Amazon Warriors, I want to salute we Warriors here.
Hey! Yeah! Strength and honor. Mm-hmm. This is for the Soca Warriors. Fire! Hey! Anything running, I ain't sorry for. It's girling again. Let's go! Everybody! Hey. Right now we must stand up for them. Yeah. Stand up for them. The TSTT, just stand up for them.
Wait, I didn't realize that was an advertisement. What the hell is going on? I told you Warriors salute me. Realize the thing is a whole advertisement now.
Hey! Yeah! Strength and honor. This is for the Soca Warriors. Fire! Hey! Anything running, I ain't sorry for. It's Guyana again. Let's go. Everybody. Hey. Right now we must stand up for them. Yeah. Stand up for them. TSTT just stand up for them. Bunch of y'all wanna plan up for them. Soca Warriors to the end. I said stand up for them. Hey. Stand up for them. TSTT just stand up for them. Bunch of y'all wanna plan up for them. Soca Warriors to the end. The Warriors coming. The Warriors coming. The Warriors coming. The Warriors. Have the rest of them.
Come in.
The rest of them.
Running.
The rest of them.
Running.
The Warriors. Look, the Warriors coming. The Warriors coming. The Warriors coming. The Warriors. Have the rest of them running. The rest of them running. The rest of them. Alright, let's go. Hear this. Well, this is the royal bungee. I am a supporter of my country. Right now the candle is bright, ready for the fight. None of them can cut out we. I said, I am the royal bungee. I am a supporter of my country. Right now the candle is bright, ready for the fight. None of them can cut out we. Alright now, hey. People take pride in the side and just burst now and not divide. And just get on board for the ride. Cause right now we heading for the Germany tide. So just drive negative from your brain. Forget the bad, let the good vibes remain. You know the girl, they like the top plane. Cause the Warriors winning this game. So I say stand up for them, stand up for them. TSTT just stand up for them. Bunch of y'all wanna plan up for them. Soca Warriors to the end. I say stand up for them, stand up for them. TSTT just stand up for them. Bunch of y'all wanna plan up for them. Soca Warriors to the end. Everybody know, full stride, full stride, full stride, full stride, full stride. Just aim for the goalpost. Full stride, full stride, full stride, full stride, full stride. Now you're threatening with pride with full stride, full stride, full stride, full stride, full stride. Just take all the time cause it's full stride, full stride, full stride, full stride. Alright, let's go. Hear this. Tell them this is not seesaw. This is not football, this is war. We exploding like a C4. That's why Galen tell them it raw. Them score 2 goals, we score 4. Them score 4 goals,
We score more.
them score more goals, we gon' make sure one goal make them whine like the knees bell for. The Soca clan from the Soca land. Every Soca fan from the Soca stand. Soca girl, Soca child and Soca man. Everybody right now just raise your hand. Cause you see the captain is a warlord. Just not kicking a ball but he reeling a sword. Right now the goalkeeper shield is broad. Welcome is the reward. T-Hunted. We won that goal. Right now we must stand up for them. Stand up for them. TSTT.
Stand up for the, I know how that's an advertisement, you know. I don't remember at no point the word TSTT coming in. It's not TSTT. By Jelani Beckles, Friday, 8th of September, Soca Warriors beat Curacao 1-0 in Nations League. Listen, I watched our game Friday. Now, I want to tell you this, right? I typically do not miss Trinidad and Tobago games. Once Trinidad played, Trinidad is the last national team, the Soca Warriors, that is make me come out my house and still back them and I bet, not betting, but literally, but I have everything on them. I back in this side. I'm hoping we go to the World Cup. I deal with them. I can't take our cricket like West Indies. It's be hard for me to watch it. It's be hurtful because one of the things I can't take, I doesn't mind losing it. We still a very small country. And our talent pool is very small. While we're very talented, our talent pool is very small. You know what I mean? We are at a disadvantage when we're facing some of the bigger nations who have a huge talent pool and football history or cricket history and pedigree and them things. But we have, over the years in all these sports we play in, or cricket and football in particular, shown a significant amount of dominance against regional teams and things back in our time, or in the case of West Indies, dominate the world for a long time. So sometimes it's so sad to see the legacy that was left behind. It's just left behind. So I deal with the Soca Warriors still. West Indies has hurt me a little more because you can't say Trinidad football team, we might have dominated the region at times, we might have get robbed out a few World Cups at times, but we was never the biggest footballing country in the world. But West Indies was surely the biggest cricketing nation, if you want to call it that, in the world, and now it's hard to watch. But my intention was for me and Zachary to go up in the stadium and watch the game, but I tell you, like, after the COVID, right? I don't know what that long COVID thing was what I was talking about before, but I could tell you, this one taking long to wear off. Everything I do, I exhausted one time. As soon as I started to do something, I ready to take a sleep. So if this episode short, you know what, I just drop asleep. And to avoid dropping asleep on camera, we go wrap up fast. But with all good intention to go in that stadium Thursday, the thing I studying is boy that drive up the road and then come back down. I didn't know if I could make. I don't know if I had the energy to go and take them in, and I didn't go. And now I'm regretting that. I will get to why, right? But first and foremost, most importantly, licks for Curacao. It's the first time Angus Eve beat aside in the top 100. I following what Lasana saying on Wired 868. Of course, there's a spot where I get all my Soca Warriors news. And it might be the first time any coach we had in a long time win against a top 100 team. And I was actually kind of surprised that Curaçao was at top 100. I would not think at any point that Curaçao is ranked higher than us or football reach a point. If this is something to celebrate, we reach a little bit of a low in football. Curaçao have 77 people. And them men have 22 people them could pick. Anyway, let me read what it say here, right? A late goal by substitute Nathaniel James handed the Soca Warriors a 1-0 win over Curaçao in the CONCACAF Nations League match in the Hazley Crawford Stadium at Mocrapo on Thursday. The match seemed headed for a 0-0 draw. I want to tell you, not just a 0-0 draw, one of the scrappiest, ugliest 0-0 draw I never see. I don't know what it is about our football where as we watching, and there's a bad comparison, right? But when you watch Premier League on a weekend and you watch Phil Foden cross a ball all the way across, you feel like a bullet to Mahrez, and Mahrez take one touch and that ball stop moving completely. I don't know how we pass ball to one another on the ground, and then when a professional football player trap the ball, it's pop up in the air. I never see so much of that in one game before. It's like, what is going on? Like we know the basics. Both teams are not just Trinidad. But the match seemed headed for a 0-0 draw, but in the 87 minutes, a cross by substitute Andre Raymond from the left flank. James fired home from 8 yards. TNT striker Ryan Telford did well to get the ball into James after battling in the air with a Curaçao defender. Curaçao had more possession in the opening 5 minutes, created a few half chances, but TNT goalkeeper Denzel Smith was not called on to make a save. I don't think Curaçao had a shot on goal for the entire game. And I don't think it was just the first 5 minutes they had possession. I think they had much more possession for us than the whole game. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Curaçao looked more menacing. They looked the more menacing and attacking the left side as TNT struggled to come out in their half in the opening 15 minutes as Curaçao played a high line against the runner. Why are reading this fall? It doesn't like where I read sports. We win. We beat people. I don't really care. The game was looking bad. But when I said this in the last podcast where we was talking about that Kevin Molino situation with Angus Eve, right? Where you see wins in sports, nothing beats winning. It does not matter. I want to say it almost don't matter where you do, because once you start a win, people start to be pleased with you. I don't know if we're in a situation where people will be pleased with the administration of Trinidad and Tobago football, right? Because we're still under a normalization committee, which I can't understand. Everything I have read about normalization committees seem to have been implemented in much more drastic situations than ours. And they seem to be temporary with a handover to the regular federation then, which for us would be what, TTFA or TTFF or something like that. But it seems as though we under this normalization committee about 4 or 5 years now, if so a little bit, maybe even longer than that. And it seems as though there's a permanent situation now, but everybody looking like a genius now, because the social media was out there saying fire Angus Eve, and Angus ain't good, and he's playing too much of different players, and I can tell you, Kevin Molino come and say Angus Eve lost the locker room, which was I was looking out for that in the game against Curaçao, because there's a lot of young players, a lot of the names I would not know, plenty defense force men. If men remember the strike squad was similarly a lot of young defense force players who came up and represent the country. It was largely a local team, a local based team. And we see in here, and one of Angus Eve's first complaints when he picked up the role as coach of the national team, was the importance of a domestic league. Now, the man looking like a genius. That first game, that game did not look good. I don't think we're where we need to be at. I think he would admit that as well. But a win is a win. As the young people say, a win is a win. So now, in typical Trinidad and Tobago style, after I enjoyed a little win and thing, I keep it in my mind that it's Curaçao. And them fellas, I know, them fellas, them in football pedigree, are actually quite surprised that they rank higher, and we have them reaching the top 100. Who them beat so? But you could see a little bit in big portions of the game where we were a little outclassed against Curaçao. But put it down to Angus' plan or the commitment of the players and the defense, and salute. You see, your Bungie say, captain is a killer. You see Aubrey David? Aubrey David is a bad boy in the back there. He controlling the defense, which I I don't think I see for a while in our football, and they have players who I rate in defense, including one of my favorite players, Sheldon Bato, who didn't make the team. I think he leave out. Well, Molino retire. Both Jones is gone. There's no keeping up with the Joneses. But not gone, but they weren't selected here as Alvin and Joven Jones, as well as Sheldon Bato wasn't in the team. So I frightened now when I see names, too much of names me and know, and some other names who ain't performed the greatest with all them string of games you lose recently. But anyway, fast forward to Sunday night now, and this game starts in 10 o'clock. Now, I want to make an appeal to the world, a selfish appeal. Please start all sports around 5, 6 o'clock. They're too old to be up in the early night and thinking to watching Trinidad football and getting heart failure. But anyway, fast forward to Road Warriors in the Express. A Justin Garcia goal in the 71st minute gave Trinidad and Tobago a come-from-behind win against El Salvador in their second match in Group A of the CONCACAF Nation League. The victory was a second in a row in the competition for... All I don't like when I read, sorry. We win. We beat people. We beat people. Let me tell you something. I find in this game, we look a little more assertive. We look a little more together, you know what I mean? I guess the confidence of a win. But traveling to these Central American countries has never been easy for us. We've never beat El Salvador in El Salvador, at least not a senior team from what I've read. And we went out in the game not looking as scrappy as we was looking against Curacao. What I will say is that if I thought Curacao was dominating possession or having the ball a whole lot in the first game, boy, listen, we couldn't get the ball from El Salvador at all. El Salvador looking so comfortable knocking the ball around. There are a few players who looking dangerous around our box. And there are a few moves that was looking a little suspect. There was one named Denzel Smith, right? The keeper was looking very, very suspect. The ball coming straight to him, ball slipping out, he parrying it right back in front of men to shoot again. I say, well, who he? With Marvin Phillips, with them fellas, with John Michael, with Shaka, with Spider-Man Carter, with nobody we could up. I get frightened immediately, but boy, that fella, Denzel Smith, make some kind of impossible save there last night to help we win. Is one of the greatest I have seen. I want to say salute to Ryan Telfer. If you do, hey, listen. Whether you like football or not, I want you to go on YouTube or go on TTFA Instagram and look for Ryan Telfer, because after we went down a goal, which I get accustomed to seeing Trinidad football, where when we concede a goal, the game done. The team could play and run up the score. The team could lock down and do better to score no more and just defend the one goal. Either way, we finish play when our team score against you. I've seen it so much times in Trinidad and Tobago football. But boy, not against El Salvador. It didn't take long, maybe 5 minutes after. Ryan Telfer scored one of the best goals I ever see in football. A bullet of a cross, a great touch to control it. A matter of fact, he controlled it in a way where it wasn't a fluid move for him to hit with the left. And he had to take a little stutter step or bounce on the one foot, and boy, that man hits a rocket. There's no keeper in the world would have saved that. Not the great Michael Morris or Maurice. What again? Michael Morris? And then they come and they score again and we equalize. And then listen, that game was an exciting game. It's the kind of football you want to see. It's also the kind of match a neutral want to see, where goal scoring, both teams going at one another. But it's also the kind of fight that you want to see from your team. I doubt El Salvadorians would have been too beaten down on their side too much, because it's a worthy opponent, I suppose, Trinidad and El Salvador. They may see themselves as running over we, but I mean, history doesn't stand on their side. We beat them most of the time. But when you go to El Salvador, it's going to be a hard game. But it was hard fought, and their team fight hard. Our keeper keep us in the game. We had 2 shots on goal, right? And a penalty. And that was the 3 goals we scored. So salute to them. It was an impressive thing to watch. We have one more game against Guatemala, which in the eyes of the sports people, they say it will be a sterner test. But I want to hear from my boy Angus. Angus headline does saying, possession doesn't win matches. As Eve explains his philosophy as Trinidad and Tobago lead Group A. So he spoke a lot about the fact that the results meant Soca Warriors closed their September match window with a maximum of 6 points from their opening 2 CONCACAF Nations League A outings, despite managing 37% possession in both games and being outshot and outpassed by Curacao and El Salvador. Yeah, that looked like it to me. See, I should have started with why I didn't know, because I'm pretty sure Curacao had the ball for much more than us, and they're saying here that Curacao and El Salvador both had the ball 63% of the time, and we get more passes, more shots on target. We didn't have much. If we score 4 goals out of the 2 games, we had 3 shots on goal and a penalty that gets there. Now I don't know if that is a formula that will help us beat side, especially when we play better teams. I don't know if we could depend on Smith to save we every single time either when it's not a rain goals or we look terrible on set pieces. But I can assume that with this young side he pulled together here and their tails up now and they're looking, you know what I mean? They're looking dangerous. We beaten sides. We side out to watch we know. And we at the top of the group with 6 points from 2 games. But we're going into some harder games in the next match window, and we gotta step up. I believe that the next game, I think this window pretty much closed for us. This international window. You know, I know the non-sports people. I go play a calypso just now, right? So just relax. Don't change the dial. It's hot, right? I'll play something just now to bring it right back. But I believe that our next game is some time away. Is it? Just on TTFA page here. I thought it was this week, but I don't think it is. It's against Guatemala for sure, but it might be in the next international break, which might be about a month away. So whatever it is, we are the team to beat now in the group. We expecting to get stronger because Angus, you have your professional league now. The players playing in the league, they're looking good in the league, and they're coming out and they're showing what they have there. If a 19-year-old player scoring the only goal in the game to make a match winner, that is always a positive sign for me. And if we could concede goals and fight all the way down to the end of our game to come back to win 3-2 and then hold it down in the end without conceding our next 2 goals, which we're famous for doing. Sometimes we just concede some jokey goal and give away our little chances for the game. I salute to them, and I hope that, like I say, they come and they say, Kevin Molino. No, I was talking about that last week, and I did, in fairness to Wired as well, they said that Kevin Molino had issues with other coaches and his own discipline with staying with the team and breaking camp and the boat riding. And he came out and made put out a few pretty scathing remarks about Eve, which we read last week. And starting by saying Eve only care about himself and he's blame everybody else when things go wrong and them kind of things. And most importantly, the thing that stood out the most was that he saying Angus Eve lost the locker room. Well, the issue now is that I think Kevin Molino lost the public with them 2 games. You know what I mean? That is not it ain't looking good for Molino right now, because having dropped a big part of the core of the senior team, and then you have youth stepping up for you to do things that I haven't seen the men in the senior team go out there and do maybe since we beat USA in a qualifying match. The way we had no chance to qualify again because we done out of the tournament. I had to salute Angus Eve. I still in Angus Eve corner, all calling for him to be fired. The call starting to get a little softer and softer. And now we have the next set of games is on the 13th of October. I believe that is in Trinidad are surely going now, but you know that game going to sell some tickets now. Jack Warner might make a you know what I mean? He might, just like we come back into the UNC now that Trinidad winning, he might come back again. But you see that little Warriors coming song. I just want to take a minute to salute this thing they call the Potter Gold Rhythm, right? The Potter Gold Rhythm, for those of us who was fetting in that era, when is this? The early thousands? There's in the early 2000s, that Potter Gold Rhythm was no joke when it comes to fet time, and they had people on it. Well, that was Bungie and the Asylum crew basically, and this is. I just want to play a few more from that fair, right? I'm going to run through them a little quick. It's unfair to people here, right? But I'm going to run through some of them quick because this is one of the baddest rhythm in the history of soca music, right? And it have a few of them on this rhythm that wasn't the most popular at the time. but they're bad like Yaza. This one was one of the biggest ones. You remember this?
Can I have a round of applause, please?
This for the Warriors again.
No! Thank you. Break away, break away, break. I wanna break away. Start to jump, break away. When I jump and I turn and I twist and I move and I wiggle up my spine, break away. When you're hearing the big truck pass through, you don't know the time, break away. What we done the young stink going nasty's mud and we really don't care, break away. Take anything, everything, 1, 2, 3, throw it up in the air. When the sun goes down and the moon rise high, every man, every woman, girl and boy, child, all food comes in a Juve style. Streets have got the people long like the Nile. No behavior, they nasty and vile. Modern oil making a mercantile. Blaster in the barber green like a style. Man, they giving the city a brand new style. Prepare to jump, post and walk a mile. Cause if the music stop and the crowd get riled, somebody is gonna get exiled. Links gonna share by the heap and pile. After we keep in your face on file. So just relax and don't get wild. Can't get away with your foolish ride. So everyone in the meanwhile, break away. When I jump and I turn and I twist and I move and I wiggle up a spine, break away. When you're hearing the big drop part, you don't know the time, break away. But we don't we stink and we nasty's mud and we really don't care, break away. Take anything, everything, 1, 2, 3, throw it up in the air. When the man
I could play this one too.
I look and I see you, then I look again and I don't see you. So I tell myself that I just anyway.
Clear the way for me. Clear the way for me. Clear the way for me. Clear the way.
Tell Gossy Malo.
Oh, we coming down and yes, sir, we coming strong and Galen coming down and Ninja coming down and Sky coming down and Benjai coming down and Bungie coming down
And we coming in the whole asylum and
move that, cause I love the way you prove that. Till I never wanna lose that. That's why I pick and choose that. Till I never would abuse that. And I never would refuse that. Till I never wanna bruise that. Till I only wanna use that. Hey! Clear the way for me. 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 Poison coming through and Barbarossa coming through and Hearts we coming through and all the big crew and Invasion coming through and Roy Gave coming through and Traffic coming through and so the whole asylum crew and Don't feel coming in blue steel, now we got few steel. Girl dancing the shoe seal, dance until the blue steel. When they wind back in the dance like they act in a blues reel. We punk you like cornmeal, man want to bow down, he the girl like they was cow heel. Who can hear when I feel right now? This ain't no false talk, this is the real deal. Yeah,
I could play somebody who was on this podcast before.
Ladies, redeem yourselves. Do not be the whore.
With them skettle queen, we don't deal up, we not inna them thing. But if you know you're clean, kick your heel up, start to jump up and sing. We don't like them hoes, how we don't like them hoes, how we don't run them hoes, how we don't need them hoes, we don't feed them hoes them. Cause them hoes mad and them hoes bad, them hoes them don't have no regard. Them hoes mad and them hoes bad, them hoes them have to get this card. Hear me now say, listen to my vibes and don't get me wrong. I'm not listen women in this song, but you know it have some young ladies who conduct themselves very shady.
Yes.
Well, every day you see them with a new man. Some of them they struggle with 2 man. I see some of them handle a few man. Them can't be human. So if you know exactly, no man jump up and shout out.
Yeah, mama.
Scatter green woman who run in the route. Love life for you. If you know exactly, no man jump up and shout out.
Yeah, mama.
All the scatter green woman who run in the route. Love life for you. How we don't like them hoes. How we don't love them hoes. How we don't like them hoes.
Hey, this song have nothing to do with the next topic that I'm going to talk about, eh?
Mad and them hoes bad, them hoes them don't have no regard. Them hoes mad and them hoes glad. Them hoes them have to get this card. We don't like them hoes, we don't love them hoes.
We got to play one more, you know. One more.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You play a nice fiddle, yes? Drag your bum and stuff, fella. Yeah. Well, that's what the producers can't sing, right? You are wrong.
Salute to Mastermind, the producer.
Rhythm taking them, the men and the women to make them get out of high. Rhythm taking them up, put them in, and don't leave them all in a tribe. Rhythm taking all the masqueraders to jump up and get on by. Rhythm to mash up the whole wide world and to represent Trinidad. I produce this, find back rhythm. I produce this, bacchanal rhythm. I produce this, Shandong rhythm. I produce this, back rhythm. I produce this, Carnival rhythm. I produce this, wind back rhythm. I produce this, jump up rhythm. I produce this.
I never say so. It's Mr. Shaq who says so. I never say that. Just salute Portugal rhythm, one of the greatest rhythm in the history of soca music. Again, that song have nothing to do with the next topic, right? It's just coincidental how these things line up. Sometimes things is just line up a certain kind of way, right? I saw on Facebook today, people was in a tizzy. People was warm. Again, salute to the soca warriors. Best wishes to Angus Eve. All the Angus Eve detractors, all they to keep quiet for a little while. Everybody relax. The man on top of eating, right? But everybody was in a tizzy talking about detractors and things. Everybody having problems on Facebook. I go on the Facebook just to see what's he seeing, you know what I mean? It always have something happening on the books. And the books was in a frenzy. I know how to put it again. I don't understand it. There is apparently a pageant that is called Miss Grand International Pageant, right? Miss Grand International. And I want to read exactly what I'm seeing on Facebook here, right? I'm selling it just how I buy it, right? The post from a site called Trini Bacchanal, of course, that's the page. I mean, come on. Where else it could come from? It says, breaking news, no pun intended. Venezuelan national wins Miss Grand International Trinidad and Tobago 2023 pageant and will be representing Trinidad and Tobago in Vietnam this October. I love it. You know what I mean? I like to talk about integration and one it's a Caribbean connection, a regional vibration. Because we jamming all them girls in Venezuela. We move. What is it? History has been created as Mileidy Materano, a Venezuelan national, will represent Trinidad and Tobago for the first time at Miss Grand International 2023 in Vietnam. Hollywood regional integration. The national pageant was held earlier this evening at Movie Town, Trinidad. What's your name? Mileidy went viral during the premiere of the Barbie movie, where she, let's say here. During the premiere of the Barbie movie, where she was hired to play the fictional character of Barbie for Movie Town. During the question and answer segment, a translator was provided for during the question and answer segment, a translator was provided for Materano. Crowning moment photo is courtesy Giselle Laron, Miss World 1986, attending the historic pageant. Oh, you're just talking about what is this? How Miss World reaching this? I so confused. Anyway, this was a congratulatory message from Miss Trinidad and Tobago competition holders or the franchise holders of Miss Trinidad and Tobago. I guess just recognizing another fellow pageant holder for this Miss Grand International. Now, I don't know about this Miss Grand International pageant, right? I don't know much about it at all. I never hear about it before, just like you. When I look it up, it seems as though this is the first time we having a representative who go into Miss Grand International. I want to go straight to the website, right? I'm trying to see if I could get the history of the tournament, or the what they call it, the pageant. That's so much on sports. To try to figure out like when all they launch this, when it is all they come out, what is the situation? I'm not getting a clear answer on when this pageant started. What I could tell you is last year it looked like we had nobody in the competition, because when I look at the nominees, or I look at, if you go on their website, Miss Grand International, they have a nice website. Their website look like they have a little bit of a preference. Maybe that's why we had to have a Venezuelan or good, because I scroll through the website, it have a look, you know what I mean? There's a definition of beauty happening here. But I want you to scroll through when you get a chance, right? I want you to scroll through and look at Miss Ireland from last year. You know what I mean? You're going to realize like this pageant, while they have a look, Miss Ireland is like the ace of spades, which I'm not sure that is the greatest representation of Ireland they ever had. But the woman looked good. I ain't taking nothing from the woman. So she does not look like somebody to me who would have born and grown in Ireland. So me, you know, if part of Miss Grand International is that you have to be in a country, legal or illegal or otherwise, or whatever is the situation, but you mustn't be from there. I like the idea behind that pageant. You know? So Miss Venezuela, she could be a Brazilian who went and lived in Venezuela. You can't be from Venezuela. I like that. I find that is real economic and regional integration. This is real McCoy. So salute to the people who running Miss Grand International. But I want to read a little bit quick for you about MGI, right? Miss Grand International Public Company Limited has broken all the rules of the beauty pageant industry, evidently, by creating the beauty pageant platform for the highest growth and growing popularity rapidly through organizing the Miss Grand International Beauty Pageant. The pageant was founded by Thai people to show the potential of Thailand until it has become a beauty pageant that people look forward to watching, waiting for, and has received the highest feedback. I feel all you take this in Thai and all you translate this on Google Translate, but we will keep reading. Even today, we celebrated the achievements of the MGI's 10th anniversary. All you there for 10 years, but Trinidad now sends, well, we send a delegate. What's her name? Mileidy, that we lady now. Throughout the decade, we have created soft power to enhance the Miss Grand International Beauty Pageant and to be the ultimate stage of the World Beauty Pageant. We are the #1 beauty pageant that compiles unique beauty pageant platforms with uniqueness and identity. As can be seen, it is the center of creativity, fun, and full entertainment, which has totally closed all the epics of old history of the beauty industry. You only know I can't read, right? But I read exactly what I see in here. As can be seen, it is the center of creativity, fun, and full entertainment that has totally closed all the epics of history of the beauty industry and made new history and delivered grand experiences to all over the world. That's the best sentence I ever read. Thus, we can make the Miss Grand International Beauty Pageant reach a wide range of people quickly with the slogan, "From now on, all areas are grand." I say so. With a unique distinctiveness, we are grand, the one and only. We are grand, what do you mean, like we from Grandy? We are grand, the one and only. Okay. They say they're looking for 3 things. They're looking for the 3 B's. Now, I want you to take your mind out of the gutter, because if you as a man was looking for 3 B's, I know it's the 3 B's you was looking for in a beauty pageant, but it's not that. It's body, beauty, and brain. They have this on their website. Miss Grand International Beauty Pageant is a unique beauty pageant searching for beautiful women who are ready to work with the perfection in all 3 B's elements, body, beauty, and brain. They should be complete with the skill set and all-round abilities to be able to show the potential of being a modern woman who must be beautiful, skillful, and smart so that they can be an icon for women around the world. I love it. I like where it's going. Now, as I scroll down further, I see a woman in a pride jersey and a rainbow flag. So let me see what is happening here. Now, our platform provides equal opportunity for all women by opening spaces for contestants to perform their talents, providing opportunities for everyone to participate in all sectors as much as possible. It has also resulted in the employment during the pageant. Organizers are awakened in the organizing events and expanding their business in their own countries, including makeup artists or hairstylists, to have a platform to showcase their potential and work. There's also space to present their work through ideas and creativity towards national costumes, short evening dresses, long evening dresses, and also extending employment and providing opportunities to work for the mentoring or chaperone team and many other teams involved in the beauty pageant, enabling us to achieve the mission of being a leader in upgrading the world beauty industry. I would have get licks on my knuckles if I write a sentence like that. Ollie, don't tell me. I don't want Ole to tell me. Ole change. Ole send the Venezuelan lady as a sacrificial lamb because Ole find this tournament looking suspect and Ole send the woman over there. I hope that's not what Ole doing. You know? Miss Grand International is an international beauty pageant that promotes the knowledge and understanding of mankind to the campaign to stop war and violence. We've tried. Wait. The whole pride thing, they just put the pride thing, but they ain't saying nothing about pride, you know. They ain't saying nothing about inclusiveness, diversity, nothing. They just basically, and then the next thing is a man holding a Ukraine flag. He looked like he went through the war himself. And they say we've tried to be the voice of peace in the world. Every year, we try to send out a message to give love and peace to the world through the transmission of speeches from the beautiful top 10 final show of the Miss Grand International Beauty Pageant. Every year and each year when there's a chance. Every year and each year, when there's a chance, the winner holding the title of MGI must travel to continue the mission of resistance. All I don't know what command full stop in this play. Anyway, salute to Mileidy out there, and a Venezuelan woman is going there to represent us. And all I can say, wherever it is, all I want to say, I like it a lot. I salute it. Why the hell not? You know what I mean? Integrate people into society. Give the woman she passport or green card or whatever it is she needs to represent the country she going out there and representing. We going out there and beat El Salvadorian bad with in the football. Why we mustn't why a Spanish not Spanish, a Venezuelan woman. Let me don't call the people Spanish. Why she mustn't go out there and represent us? I had 2 little Spanish song line up, before I go back, and I tell only one time, I had to talk about CPL, right? I will be fast on it. But I want to play 2 little songs from Calypso, icons, and legends about our close relations, our very, very close relations with our very close Venezuelan neighbors. Take this one first.
When Venezuela,
yes,
and Bongs up a Dulce Maria. When Venezuela,
here's Spanish, eh?
and Bongs up a Dulce Maria. Yo te amo a big into y adora mi querida Conchita. En un momento I entered her casino, and in romance in Spanish calypso. Bembeteo, bembeteo, bembeteo masa caramba. Bembeteo, bembeteo, bembete bonita Maria. Bembeteo, bembeteo, bembete no más.
I wonder where he learned that. How much you think he paid to learn Spanish so fluent? This is roaring lion. What do you think he do?
We entered a battle. She started to diddle gather, and in the uprising, in our lengua we started quarreling. Dio usted está mucho robusto. Le responde no a más vocioso. Esta verdad yo no tengo dinero, pero yo puedo dar satisfecho. Bembeteo, bembete, bembete no más chapalanta. Bembete, bembete, bembete bonita María. Bembeteo, bembete, bembete no más.
The drum and all beating in Spanish.
I entered a casa and was delighted with a limpia cama. And then she said, Leon, ven acá, chico, touch me corazón. She then displayed her violoncelo, which naturally got me more amoroso. I lost my hair and my ojo got rojo. She said, mi amor, you look tempestuoso. Bembeteo, bembeteo, bembete bonita María. Bembe, whoop. Me voy, bembete no más, a caramba, bembeteo, bembete, bembete no más.
Somebody could translate for me.
Conchita Chichita is my dancing and romancing partner. We dance de la conga and waist to waist was away in the rumba. When we accelerate in caliente, emotions could match my temperamento. When I ask her to dame visita, she served me vino with poco de agua. Bembeteo, bembetea, bembete bonita Maria. Bembeteo, bembete, bembete no más.
I say so. Why the woman mustn't go and represent you? Look how long the hell and you hear the kind of recording it is and how long ago it is. Why she mustn't go and represent you? I'll get one more Venezuelan. This is called International Relations segment of the Corey Shepherd podcast, right? Name of this one is Matilda from King Radio.
Matilda, believe me friends, it's Matilda. What is it at all? Matilda, she takes me money and run Venezuela. Everybody, Matilda, lost, Matilda, it at all? Matilda, she takes me money and run Venezuela. It really hurt me friends, but what to do? Now listen to the woman draft up mud of water. Matilda, she takes me money and run Venezuela.
What it is at all?
So never be friend to love again. Now listen to me money gone in vain. Oh Lord, it is Matilda that takes me money and gone Venezuela. Matilda. Get it out, boys. Matilda. I got a call. Well, Matilda, she take my money and run Venezuela. $5,000 friends are lost. The woman himself make cat and horse. Oh, lost. Matilda, she take me money and gone Venezuela. My money was to buy a house and land. Now listen, now she draft a serious plan. Fire, water, Matilda, she take me money and gone Venezuela. Everybody, Matilda, get it out, boys. Matilda, I get a fall. Matilda, she take me money and run Venezuela. My money was quite inside the bed, took up in the mattress right below my head. Oh, lost it is Matilda that take me money and gone Venezuela. I feel a jumbie shove me head. Say, boy, no money inside the bed. Oh, loss is Matilda. She take your money and gone Venezuela. Everybody, Matilda. Get it out, boys.
Matilda.
I get a fall.
Matilda, she take me money and gone Venezuela. Voice of the great King Radio. So, best wishes here representing me. Just like how in the football we is bringing players to represent us because Burchell wasn't from here. You know what I mean? I see they try to bring J. Lloyd Samuel. They say great-great-great-great-grandmother was from here. We bring people in, you know what I mean? And the CPL is the same thing, right? CPL, we go in there and back in people who ain't born and grow here so we could back, what's your name, Mileidy? I hope we could back Mileidy for that. Before I get to CPL news, a few things I want to run through quick, right? I saw an article in The Guardian today. They say 4 new independent senators joined the parliament today. So salute to the new independent senators. Professor Gerard Hutchinson, Miss Mileidy Materano. Mileidy Materano is a journalist for a long time. You're supposed to know the name. Dr. Sharda Patasa. She related to Mungo, I know. But the last name is the great Helen Francis. Monarch of this country. They say Calypso Monarch 2018 Young King and Song of the Year winner in 2016. In addition to his singing career, Mr. Francis devotes his time to developing the skills and talents of artistic expression in young people and instructing students in physical fitness, sports, nutrition, and the dangers of substance abuse. Mr. Francis, who is not yet, Helen Francis is not 30 years old yet. Well, salute to you again. The hell is this man so young? He'll be the youngest independent senator in the current parliament. So I want to wish you all the best. You know what I mean? Another Calypsonian and a man who win the monarch. He had all kind of nation building song, all kind of song for politician and thing. Now he has one, right? So he had to go in there and represent you and represent the culture well. I want to talk real quickly about the greatest president in the history of Trinidad and Tobago again. The greatest president in the history in Trinidad and Tobago is Christine Kangaloo. In the reopening of Parliament today, went and make a speech as she tends to do. You know what I mean? I guess the president had a talk, right? But I like the way she's always find a way to work the culture in a very genuine way into the discussion, right? And she was saying at the new opening of Parliament this year that she wants the parliamentarians to seriously consider and ensure that we pass the legislation to officially make PAN our national instrument. Now, I'm not sure how much of y'all will be surprised by this, but it seems to pass many people that it was taken for granted that that PAN is our national instrument. Like we, barbershop talk or Woodford Square talk is song like, you know what I mean? Yeah, listen, PAN is the national instrument. But it seems as though there's nothing official in our laws that makes PAN recognized as the national instrument. So I want to read from Loop TT for you here, right? This is President urges formal recognition of steel pan as the national instrument. President Christine Kangaloo is advocating for the steel pan to be formally recognized as the national instrument of Trinidad and Tobago. She made the call as she addressed parliamentarians on Monday during the ceremonial opening of the 4th session of the 12th Parliament of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Kangaloo previously wore the hat of President of the Senate and members of Parliament before taking up the mantle as President, expressed the hope that the Parliament will enact laws that protect and advance the country's culture. The President called for the steel pan to be formally claimed as Trinidad and Tobago's national instrument. She said, in particular, I hope it will be seen fit for there to be an urgent parliamentary intervention that results at long last in the steel pan being firmly and irrevocably declared, irrevocably declared our national instrument. Those in the industry will tell you that giving the steel pan formal and official national instrument status is critical to opening doors for the industry in international markets. The General Assembly of the United Nations has formally recognized the universal value and significance of the steel pan. I believe it is high time that we formally do the same. She went on to talk about all kind of other things, right? I mean, and again, as the greatest president of all times, everything she talked about was great, but that in particular stood out to me because it is unfortunate that there would be any delay. Like, I don't understand why this had to be a call or somebody had to urge us on to do these things. When we campaign, it's make you wonder sometimes about where our priorities are, because in the political campaign, there's nothing, I didn't hear anything like this discussed. I mean, it says something about how popular this call would be. It probably don't mean enough to enough people for it to be a main topic in the political campaign. I mean, I guess in a country like Rio say, when public utilities isn't working on water and the road can't fix something, I mean, like, maybe who the hell care about the pan? But these are the things that will get the road fixed and the water flowing and them things. No, if we do take our innovations and make them into globally recognized brands and products, we're going to have a problem. We're always dependent on taxes or natural resources that non-renewable, and we don't have enough power to negotiate what happen with them. And we hope we find someone, we hope somebody help we take it out of the ground, and we hope they stay, and we hope they pay we, and we hope they recognize our labor laws. Look at what Guyana going through now, the changes that Guyana going through as they build their oil industry. Nothing wrong with that. But we have an industry that we saying down here that we don't want to touch. So as it's a musical episode again, I had to play a pan song in honor of the great Christine Kangalo, and because of who's singing the pan song is not the kind of artist that you could play one song from. He's a man who win 4 straight Calypso Monarchs, so he's not somebody you could play one song from. So I'll give you 2 quick, right? Now, I want to get any money. I have 100. I have 100 for anybody who could spell Rukonkotonkon correct in the comments. Because this song is on Apple Music, right? So they had to spell out the name of the song. And the name of the song is Pan in your Rukonkotonkon. 100 for anybody who could spell it right. You're one of the greatest songs by one of the greatest calypsonians ever. When last you hear this?
thunder. All the flam you're flamming is thunder. I'm giving you thunder. And when I start the heavy jamming, it's thunder. I'm giving you whole night. You're prancing up all night. You're dancing up all night. You're poking me all night. Provoking me, look.
Mighty Duke, right? The only man to win 4 Calypso Monarchs back to back to back to back. Again, I mean, how much time I do Duke in an episode, but we have plenty Duke. Always had Duke to play. Couple more things before I get out of here. I want to just take a minute to talk about my little CPL experience, right? So I end up in the CPL. So to my boy Jade say, go down in the CPL. You know what I mean? I went down. Me and my father went down. And I just want to say, the most important thing now, Trinidad went to Nicholas Puran because Puran, sports is a place you could be a hero. And I remember when people was getting on, like they hated Puran up to just last year. And now Puran scored 100 and then he scored 50 when we was there Saturday night. Make a quick 15 the night after. So Puran, you want to hear that Brian Lara Stadium when Puran walk on. It's something else. Puran is the most loved man in Trinidad right now. And Andrew Russell. Everybody love Andrew Russell. But they win handily. Jamaica Tallawahs never looked like they was troubling. We St. Lucia, we beat St. Lucia Sunday night too. Them and look like we was troubling. So the showdown is now in Guyana, right? We are Guyana to play over there. Guyana beat us pretty handily, comfortably when they was here. And Guyana has been known to. This is not the first time they decide that. I think they win all the games in a tournament before and they lose the final. And again, I'm back in Guyana. Salute to Warriors as a Trinity salute to TK, Trinity the Bone and all them nice things. But I was back in Guyana. Call me Guyana Babu. We can't continue this thing without Guyana winning one. But it was nice. The CPL Experience is nice. Brian Lara Stadium is always good. I just want to say that between me and my father, a game that's starting at 8 p.m. might not be the optimal game for me and he to go and watch because I sleepy, he sleepy. We yawning, we get a little, against salute, I get a little corporate box treatment, you know what I mean? Free food and free drinks and all these things we could, and this man is asking for a cup of tea. He going to ask for a cup of tea. Stay up, we trying to stay up now. He said, boy, you want something hot. You see this thing, you going to ask for a cup of tea. The woman say, what happened? You're not feeling well here. She ready to call her ambulance. She ready to call her ambulance. But I am not to go to no kind of event that ending midnight and I have to be driving up the road after that. I passed that stage. All you know me good enough is well past my bedtime, right? Where I want to close off this episode is an article from the St. Vincent Times. It's actually about Grenada. And it's something that I like a lot. And I want us to take pattern from what Grenada doing here, right? Because Tobago in particular, who over the years, I don't know if you remember what it was like to go Booker Reef and Nylon Pool and stuff. We used to go on the Booker Reef and see what feel like an unending coral reef is beauty everywhere, no matter what direction you turn in the midst of a coral reef. And maybe the people who's marine biologists and the people who know more about the environment know that those things may last for a time, and no matter how much preservation you do, a coral reef is something that you enjoy while you have it. But we don't really have a beautiful reef that we used to have. The reef kind of die off, and the coral, the Booker Reef and the Nylon Pool so now is a party boat scene, you know what I mean? Them boats loud and so it's not exactly the type of nature, the type of getaway that you could connect with nature that we would have been accustomed to. Might have generations who might never see that at all, right? But I like what Grenada doing here. So the article reads, Grenada unveils 31 new sculptures for world's first underwater sculpture park. The Grenada Tourism Authority has unveiled 31 new sculptures to be added to the underwater sculpture park, a thriving underwater oasis that has become a symbol of art, conservation, and cultural pride in Grenada. The unveiling of the new sculptures is part of a rehabilitation and upgrade initiative for the world's first underwater sculpture park, which celebrates artistic expression. There's a COVID kicking in here, struggling to read now. Artistic expression and cultural richness by embracing the preservation of marine life. Renowned artist Jason DeCaires Taylor, who created the first sculptures for the underwater water park in 2006, contributed 25 of the captivating sculptures in a collection titled The Coral Carnival. According to Taylor, the collection is deeply connected to the island's unique culture and heritage, which includes sculpted pieces of Jab Jab, Vieux Corps, Prissy Mas, Short Knee, and Wild Indian. What makes this installation especially unique is the painting of the sculptures that reflects the vibrancy of Spice Mass, which for the first time, which is a first for me in this terrain. Additionally, Taylor created 2 replacement sculptures, Lost Correspondence and the Unstill Life, for the underwater gallery. Now, again, they say adding a touch of local ingenuity for mesmerizing sculptures, Lajables, Mama Glow, Ballet Dancer, Leatherback Turtle created by local artist Troy Lewis, who also unveiled the Lajables and Ballet Dancer, as well as the Coral Carnival, were inspired by a local design competition run by the Grenada Tourism Authority. Now, flashback to a couple of weeks ago, whenever it was, I was talking about my little Miami trip, right? And going to Windward Walls and seeing just what do you call it, a street art display, and just walking through the area of Windward where there was a lot of street art and stuff. And salute to my guy Joel Popplewell as well. I saw him doing in Miami as well, and it looked like they went to a museum that was it looked like lighting. It's more technology based because it's lighting displays, but him and his wife had beautiful pictures in those displays. And again, it's just like when you have a city or you have a place, right? Miami, you have things for you to do. Every day you could find somewhere interesting to visit, and you will spend $20 as a contribution to the thing. You might spend $100 to go. You understand? It creates an economy and creates opportunity for many, many more people to eat and live and find a way and find a passion and forget crime and forget smartmanship and skullduggery. And the revenue from these things could fix a road or make sure it's a water in Shogunas. And I'm not sure how much attention we pay to things like that. If in 2023, I had to be doing a podcast that opens by talking about we have no water and ends by talking about the fact that we should make pan the national instrument. I think we're going backward in this thing. I love this idea of what's happening in Grenada with the underwater display, because there's one of the things that it tells us as well is we don't have to depend on natural resources when we have very, very talented people and creative people who could make spaces and innovate and do things. I went to Cancun once and did a thing they call an underwater walk. No, I don't want to say I was disappointed. It was one of the best experiences I had, right? He's put on this kind of helmet. They want to look like an astronaut helmet. Me know it's called that, you know. But I guess the air pumping into that helmet and maybe you're 30, 40 feet underwater. It's deep. It's good deep, right? When you look, well, I can't really look up in it, but when you try to look at the surface far, right? And I guess you're tethered to the shore where your air coming into this helmet and you're doing a tour. You have a little railing that you hold that you could walk along the seabed, basically. And they have several sculptures. Now, I was slightly disappointed because of my Bucca Reef experience to see nature at its best. When you're among these, you see these huge fish and these corals, it was beautiful. And I remember going there and I said, well, wait, is a man put on a statue below here? This is what I come to see. And it make me realize that we don't value what we have. But it also make me realize that, opportunities don't need to come from oil and gas and bauxite and gold in the ground. Those are opportunities too, but what about our own creativity? I always talk about the fact that we don't really have a museum that is displaying our carnival over the years and keeping the best of our costumes, naked or otherwise, for people to see over the years and experience, because an artist just giving you a glimpse into real life, you know what I mean? So salute to everybody who's involved in this underwater display in Grenada. And it makes you wonder what we doing where things like that concern. The Bucca Reef gone down, right? Good. We can do something like this to make sure that the economy in Store Bay continue to thrive. We just turn it into a party boat scene and everybody ram up on a boat. And we don't have enough of that on the land. We couldn't, sometimes wonder about these kind of things, but we could create a whole carnival. We could create an underwater juve. You know, my father's do this thing everywhere we go. We went to the CPL and they start a wave, right? He's get vexed every time he see a wave. He say, boy, imagine we are the most wave in this country. We have Mexican wave, jump and wave, tidal wave, all kind of different wave we sing over the years. But we going to play against Mexico in the stadium and we doing a Mexican wave. We supposed to be teaching the world about wave. And while he's making the ICU everything, he looking for arguments in the CPL with randoms. People don't know this man, and you know what I mean? But it makes so much sense, you know what I mean? That we don't pay attention to what it is we have and we quick to see trends and jump on them as if we can start a trend and set a trend. So salute to everybody in Grenada who doing this. And I hope that we could continue to do more of this and make sure that our creativity stays at the forefront. As I'm talking about that, I want to mention quickly too that salute to Desi Clark, who is the daughter of the late great Leroy Clark, one of the greatest artists, master artist, right? Master painter. Is it master painter? That ain't sounding good enough. Sounding like I head in the wrong direction. But Leroy Clark would have passed away, and his display, they have a display this week at Legacy House that people should check out. Are going down there. Me and Jade self, you know what I mean? Since Jade gave me tickets to go in the CPL, maybe I'll get him a little something from Leroy Clark. I'll key chain. The thing will be cheap, but I think it's worth it again for a piece of his legacy to become a part of my legacy would mean the world to me. So I'm definitely going to take in that. What a place to leave here, boy. COVID fog is setting in. I'm starting to watch topic and all the topics looking the same. And right at this point, I'm not sure what I'm talking about and if it had anything with what I'd planned to talk about. But since we in Grenada already, right? We done in Grenada. This is how the thing's set up. We end on Grenada. So should I not play the greatest Grenadian calypsonian of all time? Should I end with something like that? It's too much to choose from, right? When you pull up Sparrow, it's a wicked act, you know. Because no matter where you pull up, it's just so much of them. It's just so much of them. But I want to leave you with one. That is my final salute. Well, first, of course, I had to salute the Soca Warriors. We could be here plenty more times before them play again. I mightn't see all again before Trinidad go down there in Guyana. By the time we're recording again, that CPL should be finished and hopefully Guyana win that. But most importantly, I want to salute Mileidy. I want Mileidy go down there and win the pageant for we in Thailand, man. You know how long we'll... Imagine if we have the lovely Penny, the lovely Giselle Laron, and now the lovely Mileidy representing me. So I want to leave Ollie with a Sparrow here that is giving all the energy to Mileidy to head out to Thailand or wherever the place is. I think it's Vietnam to beat people. Hold a Sparrow now.
Mucho mujer, yo no tengo dinero. They play in mass in Caracas, steel band and costume at last. I hear the plan is to invade this land, 10,000 strong in the band, and they want to compete for the prize when we meet to see who could beat Pan more sweet. Yeah. Venezuelan from the mainland with pan, plain while Indian in the band. Oh, es número uno. They make a vow in El Callao to win me crown, yes, somehow. Caballero y damas en todo Puerto Das, venga a Trinidad, duple más. ¡Hala! Ding, 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 ding. Venezuelan from the mainland with pan, plain while Indian in the band. Ah, baila. Dame la costa, dámela. Muchachita. Yo soy Francisco. Sí, ajá.
safe week. Enjoy it. Enjoy all the sports we had this week. NFL start back. Premier League is back with the FPL team. I hope all you're doing good. But most importantly, make sure we support Mileidy. But I will talk to all you next week. Stay safe. Bye.